Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the second module of the History Through the Muslim Eyes series, titled The Chosen People, we discussed many events in the life of Bani Israel. Let's summarize the major events with the purpose to refresh our memories. After discussing the significance of events from the times of Adam, Nuh, Hud, and Saleh alayhi salam, we took guidance from the Quran and we moved our focus to the Bani Israel, which has been extensively discussed in the Quran and was the main focus of our second module. We started off with the history of Bani Israel with Ibrahim alayhi salam as the father of the two nations, and then Ismail alayhi salam, who became father of one nation, the Arabs. The Kaaba was built and it became the first house of worship. Then we moved to Ishaq and Yaqub alayhi salam as father of another nation, the Bani Israel. Then we saw the events in the life of Yusuf alayhi salam leading to the migration of Bani Israel from Canaan to Egypt, and then how Musa alayhi salam fought against the Pharaoh and got them out of slavery from Egypt. Then we discussed how Yusha bin Nun alayhi salam got them back to Canaan. And then we saw how Talut, Dawood, and Suleiman alayhi salam established the United Kingdom of Israel. And finally, we ended with the building of the Haikal of Suleiman alayhi salam, or the first temple of Solomon, the house of worship for the Jews, a house that had the same standing and respect in the eyes of Jews like the Kaaba has for the Muslims. This entire sequence of events is the rise of the Bani Israel. And then we move to the sequence of events leading to the fall of Bani Israel. After Suleiman alayhi salam, the 12 tribes again did not agree on a common king and a civil war emerged. This unrest resulted in the break of kingdom into the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. The Assyrian Empire then destroyed the northern kingdom, and the southern kingdom became a vassal or puppet state of the Assyrians. After the Assyrians, the Babylonians took control of the southern kingdom of Judah and later destroyed it, including the city of Jerusalem, as well as the first temple of Solomon. The Bani Israel were made slaves and taken to Babylon, where they now lived in captivity. The Babylonian rule came to an end, and they were taken over by the Achaemenids under Cyrus the Great. He freed the Bani Israel from slavery, gave them their land back, and helped them rebuild their place of worship, which now came to be known as the Second Temple of Solomon. Just like all the other empires, the Achaemenids went through their life cycle of rise and fall and were taken over by the Greeks. Bani Israel were now under their control. Greeks too weakened and were taken over by two empires, the Parthians on the east and the Romans on the west. Judea remained an independent state for some time. After the birth of Isa alayhi salam to Maryam alayhi salam, Judea lost its independence, also taken over by the Romans. The Jews were not happy with Isa alayhi salam since he criticized the Bani Israel priests. So they conspired to crucify him, but Allah saved him and he was raised alive to the heavens. Some of his followers continued to spread his mission and they called themselves Christians or the followers of Christ. The Christians were heavily persecuted in the Roman Empire because they would not worship Roman gods. In the meantime, the Bani Israel revolted against the Jews multiple times to win back their independence. But each time their revolt was crushed. The Romans also destroyed the Second Temple of Solomon. Bani Israel continued their revolts until 137 AD, when the Romans decided enough was enough and they killed many Jews and deported the remaining ones out of Jerusalem. Until the Romans ruled this place, they did not allow the Jews to return back. Coming to the eastern side of Judea, we saw that the Parthians were now finished and had been taken over by the Sassanids. On the western side, in a dramatic turn of events, the Roman Empire made Christianity as the official religion of the empire. This was a game changer for Christianity, and it now began to spread rapidly throughout the Roman Empire under state protection. We also saw that in order to better manage the vast Roman Empire, it was divided into two administrative units, Western Roman and Eastern Roman empires. This division also divided Christianity into two major sects, Latin speaking Roman Catholics and Greek speaking Eastern Orthodox. The Western Roman Empire grew weak and it fell into the hands of various northern European tribes who were called barbarians. The Western Roman Empire was no more now. The Eastern Roman Empire, however, continued and came to be known as the Byzantine Empire. At the time of the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the east of Arabia was ruled by the Persian or Zoroastrian Sassanids, and the west was ruled by the Orthodox Christian Byzantines. With this, we have summarized the second module of the History Through the Muslim Eyes series. In the third module of the series, titled Birth of a New Nation, we will discuss events from the Seerah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the lessons learned from those events. Thank you for watching and Assalamu alaikum.